Thank you. I want to teach you a song also. Because I can see you like singing. So you will sing it like this. Mwandu yandate akuna kulonga na yana. Mwandu yandate akuna kulonga na yana. Clap a little bit. Mwandu yandate akuna kulonga na yana.
Galatians chapter 6 verse 7.
Galatians 6 verse 7 says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever a man or woman sows, that will also reap. That is a many text for reflection. Again, remember that I've said the theme for reflection is entitled Sowing Better Seeds for the Future. I'm sure when we deal with a subject like this one, especially that sounds a bit philosophical, and at the same time it sounds a bit figurative. It is important that we go into the whole business of at least defining the keywords from the theme. To find out what is it that underpin the words that they've used in the theme. That will help us understand what we are talking about. And in this case, I've seen the word sowing and the word sowing seed as well as harvest. So when we talk of sowing, I'm sure when we read about sowing and the seed, especially from the biblical perspective, these two words in most cases are used to demonstrate something. So, especially when we read about Jesus and these words, in this case, when they talk about a seed, what comes to mind is the song that we sing in our church. Sowing in the morning, sowing in the afternoon. Seeds of goodwill. So meaning that by seed they mean you sow a seed, meaning you sow something for the goodness that you get out of it. Seed can mean maybe what we are sowing for the purpose of reaping wealth. Goodness in this case may mean maybe we are sowing seed so that we harvest well-being. Again, those seeds of goodness may be sowed because what one wants to get is wellness, wholeness. The same seed may be sowed because what people want to get out of it is peace. Others may sow seed because what they want to get is sound mind. A child who goes to school may be viewed in this way, that whatever he learns at school, each time he goes to school and he learns, he is sowing seed, because out of it that child will reap. When one fails exam, other people will tell you, you've reaped what you sowed. You've reaped what you sowed. And someone who has passed or triumphed
kono yake kukumba,
you hear people say he has reaped what he sowed. So meaning that sowing may mean the effort that you put on in order to get what you want. And the seed may mean maybe your character. Is it your conscience? Is it your judgment? Is it your idea? Is it your vision? And in which state is it? So we know that all of us here, and the reason we are in the church, all that we aspire for is goodness. Whether you like it or not in life, for whatever we do, even a thief, he looks forward to a successful thieving spree. Even those who fly at night to go and disturb people, they also wish that they travel handy. So that they can reach there very well. There is no one on earth who does anything for the sake of doing it. All of us, we put an effort so that we achieve the goal that we've set for ourselves. So today I've come to talk to you for whatever goal you've set for yourself. My role is just to demonstrate how you can sow properly, and at the end of the day, you harvest what you want to achieve. Dear brothers and sisters and my parents, do you realize that where we are seated today, if we've eaten in shima rice or anything that we've eaten, are you aware that what you've eaten comes from the seed that you could have sowed last year? And it's not possible in most cases, especially when we depict a farmer, that a farmer can sow seeds today and the very day one harvests whatever they want to harvest. Harvest is life dependent on sowing the seed. So every farmer understands that fact. So even you and me, if there is a seed that we are sowing, we need to understand that fact. That for you to achieve anything that you achieve, you need to understand that you must put the effort as the seed that you are sowing. If you are a school-going child, you should know that if your goal is to become a medical doctor, that specialized economist or a farmer, right now it depends on the effort that you put on what you do. But I have come to assure you that it will not happen over time. So meaning we need to understand, the first point is that as a sower you need to understand that sowing happens in time. You need to understand that time in sowing is very important. And we need to understand that we do not sow today in order to reap tomorrow. Sometimes when you sow the harvest, it may take time for it to germinate. And I'm sure you've never come across a farmer who puts the seed on the ground today. Wakes up in the morning. Since he cannot see any progress happening, and he uproots everything, and he gets a machine to uproot everything. Because the farmer understands the process. That the process is very important. And the farmer understands the season. And he understands the season that if you have planted it today, it has to take at least a little bit for it to germinate and for me to harvest. I know that there are some times when we all sow and we get the benefits immediately. Especially those who are in business, who sell merchandise right now and get profit. But even in that case, time and process is very important. This same applies to spirituality. What we saw, the seeds that we saw in our spirituality, those prayers that we pray to God, maybe God may not answer today, or you may not see your benefits immediately. But that does not mean God has forsaken you. So we need to know that sowing better seeds for the future may require all of us to learn the art of patience and understand that the process is very important. This, my dear brothers and sisters and my parents, brings me now to the text that we've read. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7, where Paul is saying, God cannot be deceived. Tell your neighbor that God cannot be deceived. Tell your neighbor that God cannot be deceived. God cannot be mocked. And God cannot be manipulated. And no one can push God. No one can push God. What you sow, you reap. So let me now go and a little bit talk about what it is that I want to offload on those topics. You know, today we had a lesson on the church and investment. I had Reverend Study also teach 2 lessons. And others have been following what they've been teaching on Facebook. Now, sowing the seeds for our future is our lesson now. So what is it that we can pick from there? And I know there is a lot that we can talk about. But I want to address the issue of spirituality vis-a-vis reality, and how this has affected our faith and affected the way we live our lives. Many people, when they look at God, and when they look at what God can do, sometimes it's so surprising that the extraordinary faith you see in people who don't want to do anything and they are expectant that God will do something in their lives. You hear common theological statements that me, I only wait on God. And those are people who cannot even do anything. And they think they can put in a bucket or a basket on the head and God will drop food. There are those who cannot even make an effort. They would rather go for prayer and fasting to pray for their exams and not study. Those who trust upon the Lord that God will provide everything and they are not supposed to do anything. I've come to shock you. Because when God created all of us here, the first thing that God did was to create all of us in His image. And what does it mean to be created in the image of God? Does God have faces, 1,000 faces like we look like today? Or what is it that we mean by the image of God? If we read literally, when we look at Genesis chapter 1 or chapter 2, We hear that when God said, let's create humanity in our own image. When God created, what he did was to breathe air or wind in us. For us to have life the way we have it. So the question is, if God in catechumen we are told is in the form of a spirit, the Hebrews will tell you that a spirit is like wind. The Greeks also, they will tell you that the spirit is in the form of wind. All of us where we are here, we know wind. But who has ever touched wind? Who knows the color of wind? Who can manipulate wind? The answer will be what? None has ever seen the color of wind. But how do we know wind is there? I'm sure all of us will say we feel it. And others will say we see it by actions. Because when we see the leaves are moving, we know that there is wind. And when we see wind, we know that there is wind. The storm is also pushed by wind, and we are able to see actions. So same applies with God. We cannot manipulate God. We cannot see the color of God, but we are aware God is there because we are able to see God through his actions. No wonder even the spirit that God has breathed in us, we cannot touch it and see it. But it is evident that the actions here are showing that we are alive. So what do I mean by all that? My dear brothers and sisters and my parents, if indeed God breathed his wind in us, what it simply means is that we carry a percentage of godliness. Meaning what God can do, we can do in a measure. If God is creative, we have to be creative in a measure. If God is a worker, we have to be workers in a measure. If God has a conscience, we need to have a conscience as well. God knows what is wrong and what is bad. We have to know what is wrong and bad. So indeed we listen from the word of God, and we are actually encouraged that one of the responsibilities that we have here on earth is that we are stewards of everything that we see. And at the same time, God expects you and me to survive out of it. And how do we survive and secure our futures? We have to make sure that we also work just like God works. So if you are able to follow me now, earlier on I was talking about a church and investment. Now, who is a church? A church is made up of individual people. So this afternoon now I want to address individuals. That for the church to invest, it needs individuals who are investors. And we cannot be individual, we cannot be investors if at all we've not lent the heart. So wherever we are, God does not expect any idle person. God expects people who are active. People who rise up and they are counted. I was talking to the female church workers yesterday in Kawe. On a lesson that they said, which they gave me entitled Developing Your Own Economy. And one thing that I told them is that when God created all of us, God knew that he would not be giving us handouts, no. God knew that in whatever we do and if whatever we need to plant right seeds.
And one
of those seeds is hard work. Hard work. And I know people are not comfortable when we talk about these things. They have become so uncomfortable. Because what you want me here to say is that touch, receive in Jesus' mighty name. But I've come to tell you that hard work will pay. For you to secure your future, you must be a hard worker. I appreciate my God and I love my God because the God of work, and I appreciate people who work. Idleness will not take us anywhere. We cannot secure our future without working. Naturally, like I said earlier on, the world that God has created, it's a world that is premised on scarce. So meaning all of us we need. Like I told the ministers, I said if we are to deal with the issue of sin, we need to teach people to be economically active. Because thieving, busholi, it's driven by people failure to have with that which will sustain them. So if we are to deal with that sin completely, we need to teach as a church the art of hard work. And I know where we are seated, we are saying, yes, working, we would want to work. But the problem, Reverend, there's no employment in the country. But when one comes to Western Province, you see work everywhere. You see money everywhere. Today I was seeing sand in the plains. And what came to mind, a little small holding on the copper belt. Near Sabina area. So when you go further, you are going to Chingola. There is a place nearby, near those hills, you see, I don't know whether I'll call them big stones. When you are coming from the direction of Quito going that side, on your right hand side, right at the rail cross. If you move a few meters away from there, there is a place that looks like a small plane from Kwahai. It is not as big as the planes that I see here. It's Dumbo-like. And if you are seeing it for the first time, you would think they will be Komboka. But one thing that looks similar to Western Province in that particular land is sand. And the people get sand from that place and they go and build houses. Reverend Mwandi, what surprised me one day, I was with a cousin of mine, and I went to that place. We were looking for something. I'm sure my cousin was building a house. I discovered something that is mind-boggling. Where a Chinese national, tell your neighbor a Chinese national. Tell your neighbor a Chinese national. Without a degree, without a diploma, he cannot even speak good English. He has rounded up Zambians who are even from CBU. And your guess is as good as my guess. What this guy has done, Reverend Manyando, is that he has not opened anything because he knows he cannot acquire that piece of land. He has carried Zambians very strategically taken them to the place where they dig sand, and he has asked them to be digging that sand, mix it with cement, and then he gets a chemical called adhesive. They mix it properly without any manufacturing industry. And he has corrected the label, the small bags. I don't know whether that is 10 kg. And they mix proper and mix with water. Then they make it dry a little bit, package it. He pays the guys 30 kwacha per bag. And that is the adhesive that you buy in shops, you and me, as tile fix, which they are selling at 150 kwacha. What is so mind-boggling? What is so mind-boggling? People who mix the cement are Zambians. Some of them who sing in the choir, bass and tenor. Boys brigade officers are the ones that are digging sand in Zambia. Get cement that is procured in Zambia. The adhesive I'm talking about are things they sell in Lusaka. A Chinese just goes and tells them to mix them and package. Sell to a Chinese a state kwacha. A Chinese sells it at 150. And those who are buying are Zambians. Where is that God the Chinese pray to, which we cannot pray to ourselves? Because the prayer that I prayed that day was that God, can you give these young Zambians eyes like a Chinese so that they can see what a Chinese is seeing, which they are not seeing. It is mind-boggling. And God expects you and me, as you are sowing seeds, sow seeds that will open your eyes. You know, poverty will not go hand in hand with spirituality. And I know we are comforted sometimes to see our status, and you don't want to uplift ourselves. Many of the times we think we cannot do things that other people do. And all we know is complaining, especially in this country. So even the sujirite you are talking about that they are stealing, if it is left idle in Lordwell amongst ourselves, who knows how to process it? What is so mind-boggling, even our kids that we've trained as engineers in this country, unfortunately they cannot process it. All they know is to dig and give a Chinese. May God deliver us. May God deliver you. May God deliver me. I know you cannot say amen to that. I know you cannot say amen to that. But even if you've not said amen, at least nalandilapo. So as we are sowing seeds in this country, please let spirituality move in tandem with us acting according to the discernment of the Lord. For UCZ to invest, it needs its members who are hardworking. It needs members who are working. It needs members who are businessmen and women. It needs members who are economically active. We shall not build new Sefula secondary school with empty words. To build another beautiful school in Western, we need money. Even Frank Wako, where he came from, for him to do that, it's money that made him do that. So if we have a working church, if we have members who are working, the church will thrive. The church will thrive. The church will respond. So remember, I'm talking about sowing seeds for a better future. So please, let's open our eyes. As those Chinese are employing you, pay attention that you work for them little hours or little days or little months, so that you steal their ideas and still start manufacturing those things. Failure to do that, our future will never be secured. And never be deceived that there is any politician here on the earth who is capable of liberating you. There is no savior anywhere apart from yourself. The role of a government is to provide just an environment. Once an environment is prepared, it's for you to go and exploit an opportunity. So if you are waiting for anyone to give you money, that money will not be sustainable. Learn to work. If you are a lady, please learn to work. A young lady, learn to work. And I know you are saying there are no jobs. How can I work? Some of you, God has given you talents, good talents and passion. Problem is that you want to be sowing seed and give to people free of charge. Especially young girls. Especially young girls. You know, you feel confident and you have your esteem if you make your own money, plait your hair with your own money. Because whenever you move majestically. But if that money and the clothes you put on and the makeup you put on, it comes from married men, you are doomed. Because you are living dangerously. That life may be not sustainable. One day the wife will discover that you eat the money from her home. And then you will be caught. No matter the prayer you pray. Uzamuziba Yesu. So eat something that you labor for. I tell my people in Lusaka that you know if you are a beautiful lady, even the money that you work for, it makes you look beautiful. Because if your beauty comes from a sponsored money, it can even impair you. You know things that you are given freely, sometimes you tend even to abuse and overuse. If you want to breach your skin with money that you are given, you overbreach. And then instead of looking beautiful, you look orange. But those who want to breach with their money, they do it carefully, knowing that money is not easy to come by, and then they will look very clean, softy, and they will look better, and they will look like the skin that they want. So you have confidence when you have your own money. So if you are good at plaiting hair, please continue doing that. Rome was not built overnight. Slowly, with good management of those finances, you get somewhere. Even men who are looking for women to marry nowadays, they look not for burdens, they look for people that they will be helping each other. You think it's by accident that Manyando has married a nurse? Is it by accident that your bishop has married an administrator? Even me, as I look forward, I'm not going to get an idle person. Because I know people, they will actually add to my sins. Because sometimes when you overwork in order to make ends meet, and your friend just uses and misuses, it is so hurting. So young ladies, wake up. Even if it's more you can make. And once you make, you buy a cloth, there is no way to be written manufactured out of Chitumbua. Even those who see you, they will not see scones on their shoes. I come to you boys and girls and ladies, boys and gentlemen. Even yourselves, you need to work very hard. If there are no jobs here, there is a lot that we can do. All we need to do is to stand and be accounted. And as you do that, you are securing your future. Even you are married already. Don't take life for granted. You know life can be complicated sometimes. You may have that husband that provides everything. And you just sit watching TV and drinking a drink. But sometimes we've seen people, when the husband dies, they want to die also. Like one I saw in Mpika, when I was about to do committal, she came running that I need also to go with him. So she was acting violent and people were holding her. I realized that she's going to waste my time. And I said, let her throw herself here so that I finish. And then what happened was, she braked immediately before she went inside. And all I could hear is that, have you left me alone? And she's not going inside the grave. Later on she was saying, Reverend, were you serious? I said, I was serious because you wanted to go with him. I realized that this is a woman who never knew anything for the 30 years they lived with her husband. Totally depended on this man who was doing everything for her. And in the end, she knew that now this man is gone, I'm doomed. Never live life like that. We will go one by one. So do not inconvenience God by going fast to God. Deal with the situation here. There is no need to hang yourself. There is no need to commit suicide. God has given you hands and legs. Your eyes go out there. You go and find something that you can do, so that you can secure your future and the future of your children. And do not invest in kids. That's very dangerous and risky. You invest in your child and you are happy that I've already taken my kids to school and now I cannot do anything because I know very soon they will start giving me. You should know that you don't own anybody's destiny. Things can turn around. Things can turn around. A storm can arise where you least expect. The child gets one salary. God forbid, suppose that person dies, how are you going to survive? Second, in this world, the child that you bring, I taught you this afternoon that we live in a world of scarce. Everybody has needs. Even that child, please stop tormenting your kid.
Twalimutia msala kuli mama fasimo why pilela twalimona mina musema mkola kumuzieza.
Others are living yunza when they've even found already somebody to marry and you're inconveniencing them.
Mbazo balikoze panika faida afumanika msala kunywa.
Let them go and enjoy what you have.
Amba tule wawe kola wae kokozo
so from this butoya you go and find what to do.
Tefu kamka na mtu ya momu yako kwanza kwesa.
Because we want grandmothers who when they visit us they shouldn't just bring problems because we've not given them transport money. We need mothers and fathers when they come to Lusaka, they are visiting. At least they've even brought something for their grandchildren. Like that, even grandchildren will like you more. They will like you more and they wish that you will stay long. But if you don't bring anything, those are the ones that act naughty sometimes. They will even ask you, grandmother, when are you leaving? So instead of living that kind of life, please rise up. Tell your neighbor, rise up. Start sowing seeds for the better future. There is a lot that you can do. Sometimes you cannot do it alone. If you are in WCF, you can partner with friends and do village banking. Even in Chitentes, you use CZ elders. Teach your people to work hard. I remember when I was a steward at Nchanga UCZ. I was working for the mines then. And the section where I belonged was section 22. Section 22 of Nchanga UCZ.
22 of Nchanga UCZ.
So each time we had harvest, you know harvest, not so. We were given a target in terms of assessment. And that target, we were told by the congregation council that this is a minimum that you bring to the church. So I remember myself, three or four church elders, and 3 of other stewards. We had a strategy in the section. We never allowed anyone to eat masuku on top of somebody's head. What we used to do, all of us who were working, we will say, since the church is looking for 2,500 minimum, what we are going to do for us to raise the 3,500 they are looking for, us who work, let's put something to the tune of 1,000 on the table. And all those we knew that they don't have anything that they can offer, we actually clustered them in two committees. We had one woman, Mrs. Siame, who used to frequent Nakonde for business. So we requested that you can take some money and bring a bag of rice from Nakonde. And then we gave that bag of rice to a group of one group. And we gave them the task that each one of you should get at least a plastic bag. You go and sell. If it's on credit, make sure you correct the money. So in the 4 months, that group, they did that, and we told them we are not going to pay anything for harvest. Your job is to make sure that each time rice comes here, you go in the compound, go and sell it and bring here. Another group, we said, you people, you'll be making munkoyo. Here's a bag of meal, sugar, and the wood that you need. Yourselves, you'll be making munkoyo, and make sure that you, with plastic containers, go around and sell munkoyo, and you'll be reporting every week at the section how much you've sold. The first time from the 3-5 we were tasked, we found ourselves by 4 months we were already at 10,000 kwacha. So that way we are not looking for church money, but we are showing strategically those people that even yourselves, if you are willing to do something, even you can take your own merchandise, you go and sell on credit and get the money. So church elders, wake up and make sure that you help through the church and activities, so that all of us we can get somewhere. Tell your neighbor, sowing the seed. Sowing the seed for the future and securing your future. So may the good Lord continue blessing you as you sow your seeds. No, that doesn't come by accident. One, you have to see to it that you have a vision to do it. Number two, put your effort. Number three, the benefits may not come today, but be patient. Trust the process and be consistent. As I come after 100 years at Butoya, we will need to give a testimony. And Western province should never be the same. The usage rate should never be the same. We need people who be going to choir and they are involved in economic activities. We don't want a choir director who depends on members of the choir. That if there is journey, people are paying money for you, shame on you. Work hard, we know you compose music, but you should know that we also sing. So all of us, there is the effort that we put, but we have to work and depend for ourselves. We need people who go to MCF and go and pay their own money for the dedication. We need the choirs who are looking so smart. Not everything people are buying for you because you are director. May God deliver you. May God deliver you. Mulimu amufyole.
Let God bless you.
I will be leaving tomorrow. Mushale ande.
Goodbye.
Mulimu amulate.
God, may God love you.
Mulimu amufyole.
May God bless you.
But remember, kumo itusa ye itusa. Na mulimu atusa ye itusa. And your prayer should be, God give us eyes to see what foreigners see in this country and we do not see it. No one was created to be poor. All of us were created at least to have something. I'm not saying you go and be rich. I'm saying at least have basic necessities.